AEW doesn't give a fuck about black people. Let's talk about it. Triple H is under fire for his booking of black talent because everybody wants to be like me these days and stand on business for black people, especially bad faith whites with an agenda. Make no mistake, Triple H does have a sketchy record booking black talent since taking over. I've been told you that. And "I don't see color" is a quote straight out of the no-huddle offense from the Karen Playbook.
I don't see the color, I don't see the nationality, I don't see any of it. I just see talent. I don't see the difference between men and women. I see talent.
I'm proud that I built an environment where white executives in wrestling are being held accountable for black wrestlers. But in the grand scheme of things, WWE is for the culture. That's how you know a lot of these black men on pay-per-view narratives are full of shit. Because if you look at the landscape of TKO, WWE does not have a black people problem. AEW, on the other hand, does not care about black people. Tony Khan
doesn't care about black people.
I want to be clear. I don't think AEW hates black people. Tony Khan isn't racist against black people. Dean Clanbrose and Ku Klux Claudio are, kayfabe, of course. Black people just don't seem like a priority in Jacksonville at the moment, with AEW building around a skinhead stable. As a result, all elite white people just doesn't come off like a product for the culture. Even when Swerve Strickland was world champion, he felt like the one black guy allowed to speak at the Republican National Convention. Plus, AEW was not building around Swerve Strickland. Long before Swerve's token win, Tony Khan had already decided that the long-term plan was to put the belt on Sting in his retirement match. And when Sting said no, Tony Khan picked Bryan Danielson as the old aging white legend he wanted to build around. So Swerve Strickland was always gonna be the transitional champion throughout his entire forgettable title run. Just like I warned you, Swerve deserved better. If pro wrestling was music, AEW would be heavy metal or punk rock, like white people music. Not that there's anything wrong with that. White People by Jordan Davis albums too. WWE would be pop music, something for everybody. Meanwhile, African NXT feels like hip hop. It just feels like our show, and there's never been anything like that in wrestling. NXT's premiere on the CW, which beat the hell out of Dynamite for the first of 2 straight weeks, ended with another Trick Williams coronation as NXT champion. In fact, NXT is the reason I'm not worried about black talent in WWE. Because the way Shawn Michaels has built NXT into the cookout on Black Twitter Tuesday, Triple H will have no choice but to book black people in his main event in the very near future. Look at Oba Femi, Kalani Jordan, Wes Lee, Trick Willie, Javon Evans, Jada Parker. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Even the white people in NXT are black. Look at Sol Ruka. The NXT talent on its way to the main roster is a Soul Train line. The next generation of top stars in WWE are doing the Cupid Shuffle from the PC to Raw and SmackDown. Yes, I'm talking about the SmackDown where Megan Thee Stallion does the theme song. Enjoy SmackDown while you can, nigga. That's about to be Blackdown. In the main event of Bad Blood, Cody Rhodes was played out by an HBCU marching band. Shouts to Pine Bluff. On that same night, Triple H faced public pressure to book black talent, all while a black renaissance is electric sliding from the CW to the Netflix era. Come January 2025, Netflix is going to be recommending Raw to people who watched Insecure and The Upshaws. WWE is living in a time where if they go too long without booking black talent, even the carefully selected, hand-picked WWE-approved media starts asking questions about it at WWE's own press conference. I love that. I can't wait until the next AEW fake media scrum to see if one of those stooge reporters in AEW asks Tony Khan whether or not he's booking his promotion around a skinhead stable. Or at least ask if Dean Clanbrose and them are built around a skinhead movie, but that'll never happen because the AEW FanFest media doesn't hold Tony Khan accountable.
For the first time since we've been doing these, Tony Khan will not be a part of it. He's on his way to the hospital with Brian getting checked out. Please raise your hand and we'll get you to the microphone. Any questions for Mariah May, who is still the women's world champion?
Don't be shy. What's wrong? You guys don't like women's wrestling?
Okay.
Do you have any questions? You guys like to
don't
tweet
be
a lot?
shy.
Any other questions?
I apologize for
Anything
being honest.
interesting to add? Anyone?
Last call, anyone? I think they are just stunned by the glamour.
AEW will always be able to get away with booking black people like second-class citizens. And for those of you who refuse to admit that the Whitepool Combat Club is a skinhead stable, you're in luck. I made a Venn diagram. Check this out. Oh, what do we have here? Hold up. AEW is spending their increase on a diss comic strip? That's the whitest thing I've ever heard in my life, and I grew up in the suburbs. Whose idea was this? QT Marshall? Remember when Kendrick and Drake had beef, so they pulled out their watercolor pencils and started sketching the hell out of each other? Talking about, this is what you look like. Nah, this is what you look like. No, a diss comic strip. Have you ever made somebody so mad that they started doodling Dilbert? Okay, let's check this out. So the guy pissed his pants on stage, people started laughing at him, and as a result, he thinks he's a comedian. Boy, that sounds familiar. Wait, didn't Family Guy do that exact same bit back in the year 2000?
What are you people stupid? You like a little abuse, huh?
AEW stole from Family Guy to make fun of that Forbes guy? Yo, so not only did AEW steal from a Skinhead movie, now Tony Khan is paying his assistant scheduler to plagiarize Peter Griffin? AEW steals so much Caucasian content, my guy. When the Hurt Business comes to Jacksonville, they better rip off a Spike Lee movie like Do the Right Thing. I want my rip-off representation. By the way, that Forbes guy is basically a walking expense to AEW's budget because they're now spending their increase on a diss comic strip. And if Seth MacFarlane sues for copyright infringement, it's even more money out of their budget in legal fees, thereby making them less profitable. That Forbes guy sounds like a pretty big deal. I'm jealous. As somebody who has called out Triple H for his booking of black talent in the past, the latest Triple H racial scandal is a Twitter-driven fake controversy from AEW whites who give less of a shit about black people than AEW does. You can't ignore the fact that AEW has a skinhead Nazi stable in its main event and then blame WWE for not having enough black people on pay-per-view. The streets tell me AEW is gonna double down on the Romper Stomper stable by having Shane McMahon be its leader. If Shane McMahon joins the Whitepool Combat Club, the new theme song has got to be
Here come the Nazis.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
Here come the Nazis. Nazi, 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 Nazis.
WWE is in an era where they have 5 PLE matches per show, so PLE matches are now harder to come by. Sadly, that's going to adversely affect black people the way all problems do in this country and in this business. But with Triple H being held accountable, I anticipate more black people on PLEs, not for the sake of diversity and inclusion, but because Triple H was made aware of all the talent being left off PLEs, and he'll act accordingly. I see Xavier Woods versus Kofi Kingston in WWE's PLE future, not for inclusion, because that is a fire storyline and Xavier Woods is about to be a fire heel. Believe me when I say, when Big E comes in so he can reunite his brothers, you're gonna cry. And if Xavier Woods turns heel on Big E, you're gonna cry. Black cinema, nigga. AEW has very little to work with when it comes to black talent. They've had Private Party right there, but in the words of AEW top skinhead Dean Clambros, Private Party has been in the same place for the last 5 years. WWE has homegrown black talent both on its way to the main roster and on the main roster itself. AEW is so bad at building black talent from the ground up, when they needed representation, they had to pay a premium and buy it through free agency. AEW had to pay a black tax for representation because they're too culturally clueless to build black talent by themselves. That's why the only relevant black talent in the company are black stars built by WWE, like Mercedes Moné, Swerve Strickland, MVP, Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin, should have been Keith Lee, and soon to be Bobby Lashley. Look at all that black talent built by WWE that got paid in Florida. Clap for them. From where I'm standing, NXT is building culture. AEW are culture vultures. Despite all that black tax for all that black talent, AEW's main event currently revolves around Bryan Danielson, Seattle White, Dean Clambros, Skinhead White, and the next world champion after all that will be Darby Allin, back to Seattle White. From the looks of it, the Hurt Business is gonna come into feud with Swerve Strickland so black people can have their own little storyline corner in Duval. Whack! I need to see the Hurt Business and Swerve Strickland team up to put the Whitepool Combat Club out of its misery. Because if your main event revolves around a weak skinhead stable and the majority of your black talent are all reduced to one segment to feud with each other instead of branching out to shine on their own like they do in NXT, then it just comes off as a company for the whites, booked by the whites. Because all I gotta say is AEW don't really care about us. Does AEW care about black people? Tell me in the comments.